Hi, everyone, and welcome to Talk 52. Now, over the last year, we have had many challenges. It has been difficult in so many ways. And one thing that I would say a lot of us have experienced is this feeling of being older. You feel that you're not being as active as you used to be. Certainly, there was that period where at the beginning, it was all about how older people are vulnerable. They need looking after. It was almost like we were no longer valued members of society. We were there to be just protected all the time. And it did affect many people quite adversely. All a load of rubbish, of course. We're as young as we want to be mentally. So we can feel young. You can behave in a young way. Don't ever let anybody talk you into behaving in a certain way because of your age. But we can do things to have a younger brain. And the first one is focus and declutter. If you think of your brain as a computer, so you've got your computer up, but you've got about 4 or 5 different screens open, you're comparing things, whatever, you'll find that the computer starts to slow a bit because it can't cope with everything all at once. Now, women have always prided themselves on being able to multitask. And that can be great. It can be a great advantage. We can achieve an awful lot, but sometimes we can overdo it to the point where we're actually not achieving anything in any one area. We're not doing any job well. So where you can, focus on what you're doing at that time. One, you'll get greater enjoyment, you'll probably get greater satisfaction, and the job will be done in a better way. It doesn't mean that you can't do other things, but if you can focus, you're much more likely to be able to commit whatever you need to memory. Let's say it's a document that you've got to read. Perhaps it's a new contract, even if it's something like a new contract for your phone or something like that, or broadband, whatever, or your home insurance, and you've got to read through all this. Do not have the TV on at the same time. Do not have, if you like, your computer running in the background, your phone beeping away with messages and emails. If you can, get everything quiet, turned off so that you can concentrate on what you're doing. You are much more likely to be able to commit that information to memory. And sometimes our memory going, as we say, is nothing sinister, nothing to worry about. It's simply that we've actually got too much going on in our lives. So focus where you can, declutter a bit, get rid of the things that you don't need when you need to concentrate. Number 2, manage stress. We all have stress in our lives, and we know the last year has been incredibly stressful. So we need to look at managing it. And I'm sure many of you have come up with your own suggestions. Maybe you do yoga. Perhaps you meditate, just taking time out, going for a walk. But often it's looking at the things that make you stressed. Can you change them? If you can't, then you have to learn to accept that. If you can, what can you do? Do you need help to get this sorted? Ask for that help. Try and de-stress, and remember that the world's problems are not your problems. Don't take on all the things that really are nothing to do with you at all. Challenging your brain is also very good for keeping you young. Sudoku, crosswords, all those sort of things are brilliant. Reading, not just novels, perhaps something you've never read before. An informative book of some sort, or just even being sociable. Now, that's something that we're only just now coming back into doing. Having that stimulus from other people really will make a difference to how our brains are. But we need to challenge the brain as much as we can. And some of you may have tried, and I believe they're very good. I haven't myself. And it's the online games that are actually designed to develop the brain, to really work the brain, make you think, maybe give them a try. I find one of the things that really makes my brain work is being with the children. Homeschooling certainly challenged my brain, but also things like playing a memory game with them. You know, when you put on the table all the cards and they've got to remember which cards are where and match them up, you'll be amazed how good they are at it, and you're not, but you can get better. So keep playing it, or playing those games, and you'll find that hopefully your memory does improve. Reskill. For every new thing that we learn, we are actually creating new pathways and more connections within our brain. So you can actually change the structure of your brain just by learning something new. It doesn't have to be anything terribly difficult, but just go for something that's new to you. Learn something new, just investigate it, and find that you actually feel really a sense of achievement. And at the same time, it is developing your brain for you. What we eat can make a real difference to how our brain functions. So eat mindfully. And essentially, it's what we've talked about so many times. Things like eating lots of green leafy veg and very colourful veg as well. So you're getting a rainbow of colour. The Mediterranean diet is brilliant. Things like lots of fish and vegetables and olive oil. We need things like whole grains, beans, pulses, lots of fish, as I mentioned, but try to reduce things like red meat, butter and margarine, cheese, pastries and sweets. I know, all the things that you think of as wonderful, but again, we can retrain our brains into liking different foods. Now, if you want to look and feel a bit younger, and this is not just the brain we're talking about here, sing daily for 10 minutes. Now, you might think, oh, I couldn't, I'm the worst singer in the world. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether you think you can hold a tune or not. You can sing really loudly or just sing to yourself. I don't mean quite hum, but sing for 10 minutes. And what it does, it reduces stress. It will actually clear your sinuses. It will improve your posture because you need to breathe. You need to really use your breathing in order to get your voice out. And it can increase longevity. So if you can get all those things just by singing, then give it a go. So thinking about our appearance, now this is aimed mainly at the girls. Sorry about this to you fellas, but here we go. Maybe you boys will recognise this. How to look younger, okay? Do not, here we are coming out of lockdown, we've all rushed back to the hairdressers. Don't go for wild hair colours. Do not ask for your hair to be dyed bright green or bright purple. It really can age you considerably. Very young girls doing it, you might think it looks funny or it looks quirky or whatever. On somebody who's a little more mature, as in our age, it really can just look a bit odd. And it can make you look quite old as if you're trying too hard. Number 2, update your glasses. When did you last get some new frames? I'm not saying that you shouldn't wear things like the wire frames or the frameless glasses, but they are not as young as going for the thicker frames. There are some fabulous ones about, and it really can make you feel good. If you're unsure what to get, look at some magazines and things. See what the stars are wearing. I'm not a great lover of these celeb magazines, but any magazine, just have a look through and see what's current, and your optician should advise you. But maybe even updating your frames can give you a whole different look and make you look much younger. Less is more as regards makeup. Now, obviously, as we get a little bit older, we're very much concerned with trying to camouflage things. We're trying to hide the fact that we're getting that little bit older. And it is hard to look in the mirror and think, oh, when did I become my mother? But if you start applying too much makeup, what can happen is the makeup settles and it can go into the lines and make those appear actually deeper. It really will show up any wrinkles and things. It can make it look worse. A light application of makeup will actually make you look much younger. Pare down jewellery. Jewellery is there to enhance an outfit and really can look quite chic. However, if you go OTT, where you've got every bit of jewellery you actually possess on, it can just look too much. It can detract from what you're wearing. All people see is the jewellery. I'm not saying a nice one chunky, sort of dramatic piece can't look wonderful, but if you then put 4 or 5 other necklaces on with that, plus bangles, plus big dangly earrings and everything else, it's too busy and it really doesn't work. The other thing is people have a tendency to over bling. Now, we all love a little bit of bling, a little bit of sparkle. But again, you could be wearing a sparkly top and then you then go for the sparkly earrings and you've got the necklace and you've got the bangles and everything. And it's just basically you become a Christmas tree. Not a very youthful look. If you look at any youngsters about, they actually don't wear much jewellery at all. So be careful that that's not what is aging you. Plunging necklines and thigh-high hemlines. You might have the best legs in the world. You might have the best bust in the world. But as we reach, again, a certain age, it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't make us look young as we think. We think, well, I've still got good legs. I'm going to wear a miniskirt. Or I've still got a great bust. I'm going to wear a plunging neckline. After a certain time, it just really doesn't work. And again, it can look like you're trying too hard. So I'm not saying you have to wear a polo neck like this, but try not to go too low, too revealing. The other thing along those lines is no sprayed on clothes. You see the youngsters in these, what they call the bodycon dresses. They can show up so much of the things that we don't want anybody to really notice. The best thing to do is go for a good cut, well tailored. It doesn't have to be frumpy, so don't go into the frumpy line. Just because we reach a certain age doesn't mean that we have to start dressing like granny. We can still wear very, very up-to-date clothes. There's things like just tiny things that can really bring something up to the minute. So frumpy clothes, watch what you're doing with your wardrobe. Make sure you've not fallen into that trap. But the sprayed on clothes, certainly we don't want. Nor do we want to then go and hide in baggy clothes. That too is very aging. So again, going back to well cut, well tailored. The last thing I will mention is shoddy shoes. Now, as we get older, we might be thinking, oh, I'm more about comfort these days. I'm not wearing these high heels anymore. But that doesn't mean we have to become a little bit lazy about our footwear. Look at what you're wearing. Is it scuffed? Is it too worn? Are the heels down? Do they need taking to the cobblers and being sorted out? There's nothing that really ages you and makes people judge you more than bad shoes. So we can look younger, we can feel younger, we can actually develop our brain if we decide we're going to. So you young things out there, hopefully in a month or so, I'll see you and be amazed by your youth and vitality. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.